Hi guys, it's Beryl and my hair, and I wanted to talk about why I'm in Japan. I haven't made this video, even though it's probably one of the things that I get asked the most often, just in general, on here by friends. Just before I even came, I got asked this constantly, and it is why I'm in Japan in the first place. And it makes sense, you know, you always wonder why somebody is moving to another country. So I thought I would make a video to explain why. And basically there's three reasons why. The first one, which is probably related to about 90% of people who come to Japan, is because I like anime and manga and games and all that sort of stuff. Always since I was a kid, I always really liked anime, and I watched like Sailor Moon and Pokemon and Toonami and Adult Swim and all that sort of stuff, and now I download anime. I've grown up. I've grown up to torrents. Yeah, so I've always just really liked anime and the anime culture and things like that. And then games as well. I grew up, like, I'm always gonna represent the PlayStation 1. It's always gonna be number one in my heart. PS1, PS2. And also because of the anime and things like that, I do have a slight interest in the culture. Well, not slight, I did have a very large interest, and still do, living here, have an interest in the culture and things like that, and just manga, and was never much into dramas, but I was really into like VK and J-Rock and things like that. So I've just kind of always had a large percentage of my interest based in Japan or things related to Japan. The second one is linguistics. The language itself, Japanese that is, I also really enjoy. This somewhat ties back to anime because obviously I much prefer dub or subs 99% of the time. There are some really good dubs. Fullmetal Alchemist is one of them that I will always think is better in English, but that's neither here nor there. And when I was in high school and a bit in college, not that I can speak a word anymore, I did study French and German and some Russian. And what actually really turned me onto the language, which also relates back to anime, was Lucky Star. I really liked Lucky Star because a lot of the jokes were talking about puns or breaking down the language or talking about kanji and things like that, and I just thought it was really interesting. And then specifically at the end of Lucky Star, they had the little like faux news segment with the pink-haired girl Akira, and I just really liked how she spoke Japanese. It was just very quick and rapid fire, and it just sounded really good. And it really got me interested, and to this day I really do like how Japanese sounds. I think it's a really interesting language, and I really like the kanji and that sort of aspect of it. So that is another reason why I came here, and originally what I came here for was to study at a language school. But leading on to my next point, the reason I was at a language school to become fluent was so that I could go to Japanese university. And there's a couple reasons for this, which I do plan to make a whole separate video about. But basically, what I plan to do, the field I plan to study, which is, since I was a kid, I've always had a large interest in neuroscience and engineering, and specifically mechanical engineering. And again, kind of related to anime, like Fullmetal Alchemist. I really like the idea of what's it called? It's escaping me now. The arms, the prosthetic arm. I really have an interest in that, so that's the field I plan to go into, is kind of making cyborgs. And to sum it up in 2 words. And besides school being much cheaper than in America for a variety of reasons, science is not super heavily funded in America. It's very heavily funded in Japan, and things related to robotics and things like that, you always hear about it coming from Japan or private companies that get funding from rich people. And so I plan to work here in Japan doing robotics, so it made sense to come here and learn the language and go to college here, which kind of, I think, leads to the next question. Well, how long are you going to be in Japan? Well, I can't predict the future. I have no idea. And 2 years, I may be in a completely different country, maybe not even America, who knows where, but the idea is to at least get my bachelor's here, and so that'd be about 4 years. After that, although I do plan to just might as well get my PhD here, like go through master's and PhD here as well, I may be offered a different route, but for at least for the foreseeable future, it will be 4 years. Yeah, so that's the general idea. Why are you here and things like that. And I have a video on, like, if you are interested in being a student, what that entails. So bye guys, thanks for watching.